from the field and exploiting the Lakers' defensive gaps. Austin Reaves showcased his playmaking skills, scoring and assisting teammates like Jackson Hayes, who added 4 quick points. The quarter ended with the Lakers trailing by just 1, but their defensive instability was already apparent, allowing too many open shots for the Bulls. Second quarter, Doncic shines, but defense crumbles. Austin Reaves started strong in the second quarter, hitting a mid-range shot followed by a three-pointer. However, the Lakers' defensive woes and careless turnovers began to pile up. By halftime, they had committed 10 turnovers, gifting the Bulls 12 easy points. Jared Vanderbilt struggled with his passing and contributed little offensively, while LeBron James, still finding his rhythm, forced a few plays. With Dorian Finney-Smith picking up his third foul, the rotation took another hit. On the bright side, Jackson Hayes brought energy off the bench with key dunks and rebounds. Yet, Doncic continued to impress, finishing the first half with 29 points, 7-4-10 from 3. Despite this, the Bulls led 73-70 at the break. Third quarter, Bulls pull away as Lakers stumble. LeBron James initiated some solid offensive plays at the start of the third quarter, but it wasn't enough to stymie the Bulls' momentum. The Lakers' defense fell apart during transitions and drives to the basket, allowing rookie Matisse Buzelis to hit 2 threes against their slow reaction. Coby White maintained his scoring spree, while Rui Hachimura added 5 points before the team once again gave up easy baskets. Doncic hit his 8th three-pointer, but the Bulls racked up 58 points in the paint, stretching their lead to 15. The game began to tilt heavily in favor of Chicago, leaving the Lakers with little response. Fourth quarter, an insufficient response leads to garbage time. Gabe Vincent opened the final quarter with 2 three-pointers, but the Bulls kept scoring with ease. Coach J.J. Redick opted to bench the starters, acknowledging the defeat as the final score settled at 146-115. Standout performers. Doncic, 34 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Reaves, 25 points and 5 assists. LeBron, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. Hayes, 10 points and 4 rebounds. Key takeaways from the game. Transition defense needs urgent attention. Slow reactions and poor communication led to easy points for the opponent. Over-reliance on Doncic. The team must diversify their offense to reduce the burden on their star player. LeBron still finding his groove, recovering from injury, he needs time and careful management of his minutes. Hayes and Vincent provide energy off the bench. They showed promise but need to be more consistent. Time to move forward. The Lakers must regroup immediately to regain their footing in the Western Conference. Next challenge, matchup against the Orlando Magic. The Lakers will face the Orlando Magic on Monday, making this a pivotal moment for them. They need to focus on defensive adjustments, minimizing turnovers, and regaining their composure to solidify their playoff position. As the Lakers prepare for their upcoming matchup against the Orlando Magic, the fallout from this devastating loss is already reverberating through the organization and fanbase. Questions are being raised about the team's defensive strategy and whether they can turn things around in time for the playoffs. Fans and analysts react. Social media has been buzzing with reactions from fans and analysts alike, many expressing their disappointment in the team's performance. Critiques focus on the Lakers' inability to adapt defensively and their over-reliance on key players like Doncic and LeBron. Analysts are calling for urgent changes to the team's defensive structure, emphasizing that if the Lakers want to compete in the postseason, they need to tighten their defense and improve ball security. Coaching decisions under scrutiny. Coach J.J. Redick's decisions are under scrutiny as well. Some fans are questioning his rotations, particularly the handling of players like Jared Vanderbilt and Dorian Finney-Smith, who seem to struggle throughout the game. There are discussions about potential adjustments that could be made to maximize the talents of role players, ensuring a more balanced attack and defensive effort. Looking ahead, key matchups and playoff implications. The stakes are high as the Lakers look to rebound against the Magic. A win is crucial not only for their confidence, but also for their position in the playoff race. With the Western Conference being so tightly contested, every game counts. If the Lakers can't find their rhythm soon, they risk slipping down the standings and facing tougher opponents in the playoffs. Injury updates and roster changes. Additionally, there's growing concern about LeBron's recovery from his recent injury. While he managed to contribute on the court, it's clear he's not yet at full strength. The The coaching staff is likely to monitor his minutes closely in the coming games. There's also speculation about potential roster changes, with some suggesting the Lakers might explore trade options before the deadline to bolster their lineup. Community support and team morale. On a more positive note, the Lakers community has rallied around the team, with fans showing their unwavering support despite the setback. Players have taken to social media to thank fans for their loyalty, emphasizing that they are determined to improve and bring a winning spirit back to Los Angeles. Final thoughts. As the Lakers gear up for their crucial game against the Magic, the focus is not just on winning, but on building a cohesive team dynamic that can withstand the pressures of high-stakes basketball. With adjustments in play style, a renewed commitment to defense, and support from their fans, the Lakers are poised to turn this challenging chapter into a motivating force for the rest of the season. The coming days will be pivotal in determining whether they can reclaim their status as true contenders in the league.